Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, we're about to spectate some matches live from the ZeroEmpires Invitational Tournament between the following two players, Hallisyoscholar and Robo. So of course, if you're not looking for spoilers, I suggest you watch Game 1 right away. I would love to go over the information of this tournament in a little bit more detail, but unfortunately I don't have time since we're jumping straight into this game. And this is the second time I've had to do this narration because of the, restarts due to some map imbalances. And it's probably for the better because last time it was an ice map where I guess we had a shortage on sheep, or cows in this case. Looks like we're back to sheep though, no more cows. So yeah, I gotta jump straight into this. If you're looking for more information on the tournament, of course, you can find all of that in the video description on YouTube. I'll also have links to other matches in the tournament if you'd like to watch those as well. Plenty of high quality ones, actually. I haven't really seen... I've maybe only seen like one or two really lopsided, poor matches, I guess. For the most part, this tournament has been full of nothing but good stuff. So this is going to be, Game 2 in Round 4 of the tournament. And, the first player that gets to 2 games is the one that does end up winning this series. They're going to be playing on the map Golden Pit, which is a map that's unique to the Forgotten expansion to Aoe2 HD Edition. They're also going to be playing as the Magyars civilization as well. I'm going to be turning off my overlay, by the way, so again, if you want more information, it's all in the video description. So yeah, they're also going to be playing as the Magyars civilization, which is also unique to Aoe2 HD Edition, and you can sort of draw some parallels to the Huns in the respect that they're both very cavalry-focused civilizations with the same special units. Well, they specialize in the same units, the cavalry archers, the paladins, the hussars, and whatnot. One moment. Guys, I know the overlay was on. I'm just trying to leave that on there so that the people who watch on YouTube can actually have a chance to read that for a brief moment in the early game. There's some really unfortunate deer actually spawning for Robo right now. My goodness, they're all going to be stuck on this lumber cab. There's no way he'll be able to lure these deer with his scout. As you are probably aware, you'll be able to use your scout to, basically push the deer closer to your town center. Deer do run away from any unit in a straight line. So you can actually push them underneath your town center, which is a strategy that you'll see many of the higher skilled players in AoE2 putting to great use here. It's all about being efficient, right? And why harvest the deer all the way over here when you can just push them under your TC with your scout and just harvest them under your town center as if they were some kind of boar. So that's always fun, except looks like Robo here will not actually be able to do that. As you are also aware, the first game in this series was actually won by Hallisyoscholar, so if he wins this game as well, then he will advance to the next round and Robo will be knocked out of the tournament. The Magyars, though, are a little bit different than the Huns in the sense that, well, they actually have a wider variety of units at their disposal. The Huns don't have a very good barracks or archer range besides, their cavalry archers and halberdiers, whereas the Magyars, as we can see from checking out their tech tree really briefly, is, well, they're actually pretty complete. The Magyars are pretty well-rounded, and they have a better siege line than the Huns do as well. The most important bonus that the Magyars do get, of course, is their free forging, blast furnace, and iron casting upgrades at the Blacksmith. Those upgrades are the ones that improve the melee attack stat of your units. This is important to consider because, as I mentioned a moment ago, the Magyars are a cavalry civilization, right? They got good archers too, don't get me wrong. They're primarily a cavalry civilization, and they definitely favor the night rush strategy, a very common strategy you'll see online. They favor going knights because since you get the free melee attack upgrades, and when you go for a night rush, you'll usually be prioritizing the defensive upgrades at your blacksmith, the ones that upgrade the defense of your knights, as well as upgrades like bloodlines, because night rush is all about killing enemy villagers, running under, past town centers, and just being a massive nuisance. And being more resistant to town center fire and ranged attacks is really, really helpful in ensuring that your rating is very, very devastating. So yeah, that's why you'll see players prioritizing the defense upgrades. Uh-oh, looks like Hallisyoscholar's villager here is a bit bugged out and has decided to just not actually go back to the town center. Happens sometimes. Basically, you have to give the villager a command to garrison in your town center, or sometimes they just feel the need to fight. They get that adrenaline pumping and they're like, oh god, this is gonna happen again. They're like, fight me, mate. You what, boar? Do you even lift? And that's a double kill right there. Oh god, that is a really, really bad start for Hal. Anyway, as I was saying, getting the since you prioritize the defense upgrades on your Knight Rush, getting, you know, the free offensive upgrades makes your Knights extremely potent. You basically get to upgrade them, have full upgrades on them, whereas your opponent who's not the Magyars will not be able to. Oh, looks like Robo actually did manage to get his deer actually right next to his mill. So actually, yeah, because the deer are just running around this forest, he will actually be able to harvest from them, so not bad, not bad. Robo has a really big edge right now, as the boar here is dominating. So far, I would say the MVP in the Zero Empires Invitational is definitely the wild boar, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, I really recommend watching Game 2 between Lombard and Laxatory. That one was a slaughter. But of course, I don't really blame the villagers. Okay, no, I do blame the villagers. The villagers in this game are really stupid. I don't really blame the players that much, though, for any micro mistakes, because of course we do have very high ping in this match, as Robo does live in Australia, very, very far away from, well, everybody in this match, so this means that, you know, they got about a 200 ping between both players, so luring the boar could be a lot harder for sure. And it's just unfortunate that twice right now, Hallisyoscholar's villagers have decided that they feel the need to prove themselves that they can take on a boar and that they don't take shit and they don't need to run, and that they both died. Sometimes, you know, that's why when I play in my team games, I like to get loom first, because you know, the more players there are, the more lag, but delaying loom can give you a really, really big lead, which is why you'll see, you know, players commonly, well, the higher rated players will usually wait to get loom as long as possible, because the amount of time it takes to research loom is actually the same amount of time that it takes to create a villager. So if your opponent gets loom and you don't, sure, your villagers are much easier killed, but you'll have an extra villager, and the little things are what really win these games between the players. It looks like Hallisyoscholar is opting for definitely a more complete wall-off, which is interesting considering that he is going for such a fast feudal age. I expect him, yeah, this is where he's going to put his barracks, so very, very efficient, nice wall-off from Hallisyoscholar, recognizing that his map is very easy to close off. And the nice thing here is that he's got this gold deposit here, which is not in range of enemy archers. He's got this nice little backwood area, again, not in range of enemy archers. This stone mine, not in range of enemy archers. This is a growing trend because on these open maps like Golden Pit, of course, the archers are a huge part of the feudal age. I'll be going over that a little bit in a moment. I don't know if I talked about Golden Pit in this particular recording, because again, this is the second time I've had to do this match due to restarts, but Golden Pit is basically an inverted gold rush, where the gold in the center is actually on the low ground instead of on a giant hill. There's also no wolves in the center gold area. This is also important. What's interesting about Golden Pit compared to Gold Rush is that it actually favors the person that is not controlling the hill. In Gold Rush, if you have the hill and you put like a castle on, it's very hard to remove somebody from the center pit, because you have the elevation advantage. Units that are on a higher elevation than their opponent deal more damage and take less damage by a small amount. Now here in this case, you know, let's say that Robo had control of the center. Hallisyoscholar can just put a castle right here and it's got a hill advantage. His army up here will be a lot harder to kill, and they'll be able to fire on this gold. This map is very unfortunate for Robo though, because all the gold is actually right next to Hal, and like I said, Hal can just, you know, camp this hill area and really keep Robo off the gold, except for maybe this one. Whereas if Hal has the gold, right, Robo can not really camp this hill and poke at the gold miners that easily, so that is really unfortunate for Robo, and I'm surprised Robo is not actually up to the next age yet. I wonder what his plan is here. Hallisyoscholar is going to go for a scout rush, pretty much expected. Again, very potent from the Magyars here with the free forging. And, you know, scout rush is a very common opening. You'll be able to get to the enemy villagers quickly before they really have up too many defenses, and then you'll see players transition out of whatever their opening choice was into archers usually. Because again, the goal is to not stay in the feudal age for the entire game. You can't really kill anybody in the feudal age, and the player that gets the castle age first usually has a pretty big lead. He'll be able to put down extra town centers, get out some siege weapons, he'll have stronger units like knights, and knights just destroy every feudal age unit with ease, even spearmen. So yeah, you'll see players commonly transition into archers from whatever their opening might be, because archers don't cost food, and even though archers cost gold, the gold cost of the castle age upgrade is comparatively pretty little, and this will allow players to transition to the castle age a little bit quicker. Robo here is pumping out a spearman, which I think is a smart call, as he's noticed that Hallisyoscholar has some scouts and he's trying to really blow down these walls. Do the Magyars not get... Oh, it requires the Blacksmith. Alright, yeah. So yeah, once Hallisyoscholar puts his Blacksmith down, then he'll get the free forging upgrade. Right. The nuances of a civ that I don't really play because they're, well, kind of a new civilization, so my experience with them is a little bit more limited. It looks like Robo's going for a fast castle age, definitely, and we know this because not only has he just clicked up, obviously, but his feudal age timing was really slow. Well, he's going to get this scout for free. Ooh, actually no, Hallisyoscholar notices in time and pulls out, so well played on his part. So, Robo's feudal age was really slow, and that's a huge warning sign. Hallisyoscholar was up like 2 minutes before, and the reason that Robo's castle age was so slow, his feudal age was so slow, is because he's going for a fast castle age. And why you would like to do that is because, okay, when you're advancing to the next age, all the villagers that you have are going to be, well, the villagers that you have when you're advancing. It's really redundant. So if you have 24 villagers and you're advancing to the feudal age, then you will be stockpiling way more food than the guy who's got 21 villagers. And this will actually allow you to get to the castle age a lot quicker than your opponent, so that's why you'll usually see a delayed feudal age when you're going for a castle age. We'll see, like, they'll go up at about 27 villagers, right, and then they'll try to get to the castle age immediately. They'll put down 2 feudal age buildings, in this case a stable and a blacksmith, and they'll just try to click up immediately. And, you know, this definitely signifies a night rush from Robo. I think this is really greedy on his part, but at the same time incredibly intelligent. Now, I guess part of his thinking behind this is that Hallisyoscholar mentioned that he lost 2 villagers to a boar, so I think Robo already knew that the rush from Hallisyoscholar was going to be a lot weaker than normal. And not only that, but Robo looked at his map and he's like, man, this is really easily wallable. Just wall between here, wall between here, wall between here, and bam. The scouts from Hallisyoscholar basically got to do nothing, and it did slow down his castle age. Hallisyoscholar, though, is intelligently stonewalling up because he knows that the knights are coming, and the knights don't care at all about these palisades, and really, Hallisyoscholar's only hope at this point is that he gets to the castle age pretty soon, and then he'll be able to compete with Robo. But now Robo's got all this map control at his disposal. The entire map is now owned by Robo, and the knights are coming out here with the free +2. It's very, very well played on Robo's part. Well, it might be greedy, and going for a fast castle age will leave you largely defenseless until, well, you get to the castle age around, like, you know, anywhere from 16 to, 18 minutes, somewhere between that range. It gives you you're really, really vulnerable. But in this case, he managed to get to the castle age, well, without really sustaining any losses. All he had to do was actually just build like a house and 2 spearmen, and he completely got away with it. Robo now is going to be pulling off some of his gold miners, actually, and I'm assuming he's just going to put down a TC in the center right here. Dun dun dun! And yes, if you are going for a fast Imperial age, Pete, you will then be wanting to stay in the Dark Age for a lot longer time. I'm really tired today, by the way, guys, so I'm sorry if my commentary isn't, I guess, as good as you would expect, but I had to get up a lot earlier today for these matches, and my sleep schedule is really, really messed up. I was also really excited to see these matches as well, so the sleep was not strong with this one. Another stable coming out from Hallisyoscholar. This stable positioning, though, he won't be able to get knights out of his bases that easily, but I don't think that's his goal right now. Hallisyoscholar has actually clicked up to the next stage, so he's actually not in that bad of a position right now. Definitely not in that bad of a position. Hallisyoscholar right now, he's putting down another mining camp on the other side of this gold mine, and the reason being here is that this way, again, it's all about being efficient. The little things really do add up in these games, and in this case, he's just trying to minimize the amount of time that his villagers have to, spend walking, and this will allow him to saturate the gold mine and make the most out of what little gold he has in his base. But right now, Robo does have, of course, a very, very big lead, as he has complete control of the center. He's got knights. Hallisyoscholar is just finally, getting closer and closer to the castle age, but we've got, how many knights left for Robo? Is that like 6 knights right now? Yeah, that's already like a 6-knight lead. He's got a town center in the center of the map, and he's got another TC coming up, so by the time Hallisyoscholar gets to the castle age, Robo will have 3 town centers, so dun dun dun! He's getting wheelbarrow right about now, which is definitely a good decision. Once you have at least like 30 villagers, wheelbarrow starts to become more efficient in creating villagers. And let's see, Hallisyoscholar is on his way to the next stage. He'll be there very, very shortly, but the huge, huge edge to Robo here. His decision to go for a fast castle age was very, very, very wise and is paying dividends right now. Hallisyoscholar is up a whopping 4 minutes later because, again, he went for the scout rush. He didn't have much of a choice. The knights are coming out from him, and it looks like Robo is trying to press the advantage now. I mean, look at the damage that these knights do because they have a free +2. They'll actually be able to force one of Hallisyoscholar's villagers to go and repair the stable right now. he doesn't really have much of a choice, and it is going to be draining his wood ever so slightly. Second town center coming out for Hallisyoscholar right now, but if we check the pop lead, it's a solid 11 population lead for Robo already so early in the game. This is not looking good. We might actually go all the way to a game 3 here, but you never know. Hallisyoscholar is a very resourceful player, and as I've seen from seeing many matches of him, there's someone who can turn this match around. It might actually be him. Look at all the villagers he has to pull off to repair this, though. That's so many idle villagers right now. And it's wasting a lot of wood, too. But he doesn't have a choice. If these knights get in, he has way more knights than Hal does. And, oh, okay, I guess Hal is acknowledging that this stable is basically defunct, and he's just going to go wall behind it. Robo is doing some massive damage to Hallisyoscholar's economy without actually, well, literally doing any damage to it. He hasn't gone in there and attacked any villagers, but he's forced all these villagers off the line, and since they're idle, they might as well not exist. That's the goal of these early game rushes, of course, is not necessarily to kill, but to maim. You want to just make the enemy villagers idle, force them to punch your militia, run away from your archers, run away from your knights, and during that time, they might as well be as good as dead, because they're not gathering anything. Oh goodness, and it looks like, is Hallisyoscholar going to concede this stable as well? I don't think he really has much of a choice. I think the only way he could keep Robo off these stables, off these walls, is with a siege workshop and a mangonel. That's really the only way to dissuade this. Looks like Robo is going to get housed here, though. That does kind of matter. Gives Hallisyoscholar a little bit more leeway, but not super significant in the scheme of things. What I think is the most critical thing to consider in this match that we should be paying attention to is the town center lead right now. Remember that Robo had 3 TCs when Hal only had 1. Hal just got his 3rd TC up at 24 minutes in, and well, Robo has quite the substantial pop lead, 52 to 60. It is evening out a little bit though. It was an 11 population lead a minute ago, now it is an 8 population lead. But even though the population lead is evening out a little bit because Robo got housed a bit, what matters more though is that Hal now has no military production facilities left. He's going to have to build a stable now inside his own base. He doesn't have a barracks anymore. He's only got 2 stables, and this house is going down really fast. Hal has to be extremely careful. It looks like he's going to stonewall around this too. A lot of stone down the drain, but thankfully, Hallisyoscholar's math has put his stone very, very safe inside his base, and he will be able to just mine that stone freely. Robo gets housed again, actually, here, but this one was a lot shorter. And the pop is actually evening out a little bit. I think one thing that is worth mentioning, oh god, Hallisyoscholar gets housed as well. The struggle, guys. Micromanaging all these things at once is, of course, incredibly challenging. Yeah, is that Robo, he knew he had a military lead, so he's been mostly focusing on his economy. He stopped producing knights for a little bit, and actually, I believe that Hallisyoscholar has like a 1 or 2 knight lead. And he's going to get a lot of free hits off on Robo's knights, and Robo does not have the bloodlines upgraded to stable yet, so he does have less health than Hallisyoscholar's knights, and it looks like he's going to get one of Robo's knights for free. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Robo might have an eco lead, but he has substantially less knights. Oh my goodness, actually, if you look at Hallisyoscholar's economy, it's actually very, very imbalanced. He's got a whopping 900 gold and almost nothing of any of the other resources. Perhaps a market would be a good choice in this situation so you can balance that eco out a little bit. I guess he was overcompensating for knights right now, and okay, it looks like Robo's actually done exactly the same thing, but in Robo's case, I guess it makes a little bit more sense because he does have control of the center gold, and any gold that he mines here is gold that Hallisyoscholar will never actually get to mine. And we see the castle coming down here. Robo has recognized he's got 650 stone. He's putting down this castle to try and protect this center gold. Ooh. Now, this will be an interesting castle, because while it does protect this area, it does leave, these exterior gold mines a little vulnerable to potential crossbowmen harass if Hallisyoscholar decides to try some of that. But if this game does go to the Imperial Age, since this town center, both the town center and the castle age are on a lower elevation, they will take bonus damage from the trebuchet, and it will be a lot easier to destroy. Golden Pit is a lot less snowbally than Gold Rush because the player that holds the center is definitely at a huge risk of losing the center compared to Gold Rush due to this elevation difference. And wow, actually, Hallisyoscholar managed to get into Robo's base before Robo could put up this house. You see players continuously using their buildings to try and create makeshift quick walls to try and keep the enemy out, but Hallisyoscholar is in Robo's economy, and this might be able to equalize the game a little bit here. If we look at the villager count, we've got, let's see, 30 plus. Okay, well, He's ringing the town bell just to confuse me, but we got a lot of villagers here. That is about 50... Well, he's got about somewhere like 80 villagers, and... Okay, he's got a pretty substantial lead. Looks like Hallisyoscholar has... Maybe about 70 villagers, so there's about like a 10 villager lead. Very, very rough estimate. I don't have time to do all that out. Robo does pull all of his knights back, though, and it does look like he gets... Wow, it looks like he got like 3 of Hallisyoscholar's knights. Hal has to pull out here. Unfortunately, Robo was not fast enough. What he wanted to do is he wanted to build this house to trap Hallisyoscholar's knights inside his base and just wipe them all out. And he almost did, but he didn't get them in time. Hallisyoscholar does stop to kill the spearman, which may have not been the best decision because he does end up taking a lot of free hits from these knights. And oh no, it looks like he's actually going to commit to this fight and not completely run away. He's going to lose all of these knights and not get too many of Robo's knights in exchange. So I'm not quite sure about that one. But either way, we got the forward siege workshop coming out here from Robo. He's going for the throat right now. He's really committing to this one. Another town center coming out for Hallisyoscholar. So does that put him at a TC lead? I do believe that does. Alright, so that means Hallisyoscholar will be in a 4 town centers as opposed to Robo's 3, but it might be too little too late. The battering rams are here. You'll usually see players go for a forward siege workshop because those siege units are so bloody slow that you don't want to walk them all the way across the map. It's grossly inefficient. This way you can reinforce much, much quicker and really pressure your opponent. So that's why we've got this siege workshop right about here. 2 forward stables as well. Very aggressive from Robo. And now that this town center is finished, these villagers are not safe. Robo's coming in with the knights and the battering rams, and Hallisyoscholar, I think, is making the right play here. He's transitioning into pikemen. He's got nearly full upgrades on them, so really good in his part as well. Starting to make some of them counter units. He knows that he doesn't have access to the center gold, so he can't really continue making knights anyway. Unfortunately, he had a town center lead for a minute there, but he's going to end up losing this one. There's no way he can hold that line, and he's going to have to get a lot more pikemen if he wants to defeat these knights and battering rams. But if Hallisyoscholar gets out enough pikemen, Robo's army is worth so much golden food compared to all these pikemen, and is going to really give Hal a big edge if he can wipe this out. But again, it might be too little too late. He's got to get a lot of pikemen here to defeat these knights. Knights do beat pikemen in a one-on-one fight. It's just that pikemen are more cost-efficient in a straight-up fight. And, Hallisyoscholar's building space is, well, extremely limited. He's running out of wood. Okay, now, he does have a 4th TC, so he still does have a 1 TC lead over Robo, but... Oh god, another castle coming up for Robo. This one in an even more aggressive position. He'll be able to zone Hallisyoscholar off his only remaining gold mine, although I don't think that matters too much. And oh, it looks like one of the pikemen opened this gate, and... As odd as it is, that's to Hallisyoscholar's advantage. Well, except unless he lets all the knights in right now. Never mind. I was going to say you could get this one battering ram for free, but looks like those pikemen did open the gate, and now the floodgates are open, guys. The knights are pouring in, and that might be the end of the game for Hallisyoscholar. We'll see, we'll see. He's not going to be able to get this quick wall off here, actually, and these knights are going to get into this economy, and yeah, there's just so little room for Hallisyoscholar to build. The map control is completely in Robo's favor here, and this castle is going to go up, this gate is going down, and Hallisyoscholar, frankly, does not have enough pikemen. The fact that this gate opened up and let all the knights in may have sealed the deal this game. There are a lot of villagers here that are either going to die or have to be idle. That's a lot of eco damage right there. The only way Hal could turn this around is if all these knights do die here and they... Oh, yeah, okay, he's going to call the game. I was going to say, maybe if he wipes all the knights here with the pikemen, maybe that's just enough money to get him back in this game. But, Robo has complete map control. Hallisyoscholar is a very, very tiny sandwich. And really, I think losing those 2 villagers in the early game due to the, I guess, bucky villager pathing and behavior, the testosterone was just flowing through those villagers. They just had to fight. And, well... That meant that Hallisyoscholar's initial rush was a lot weaker. It allowed Robo to go for a fast castle age relatively unopposed, and that decision-making from Robo was, well, impeccable. It really paid off. It really paid off. And it looks like we're going to be jumping straight into Game 3 here. So, GG, well played, Robo and Hallisyoscholar. A very, very good game. And you know what this means, right? We're going to be going straight into Game 3 between both players, actually. So, I'm really looking forward to Game 3. Both of these games have been quite close. It's just a shame that Hallisyoscholar's villagers decided to sack themselves to the unknown. Pretty close game, though. I mean, like, honestly, Hallisyoscholar, yeah, he harvested more wood than Robo, so... the eco lead, yeah, the economies were actually very, very close sizes, even though Robo had 3 town centers for so long over at Hallisyoscholar. That's because Hallisyoscholar eventually got his own town center lead. It's just the map control. Really, the fact that Robo got to the castle age first and he got to put down those town centers and get the knights out first really put the nail in the coffin there and really cemented that game for him. Alright, so GG, well played, guys. Thank you so much for watching this particular match. If you enjoyed this video, I have plenty of other Age of Empires 2 videos on my channel, as well as videos from other games, so if you like this one, you might like those as well. I also have plenty of other matches from this specific tournament there as well. Links to all of that mumbo-jumbo in the video description, and we're going to be jumping straight into Game 3 in just a moment, so thank you so much for the support, as always. I really do appreciate you guys watching this, and of course, if you like it, feel free to leave me a like rating as well. It helps me a lot. I'll see you all shortly, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be jumping straight into Game 3. See you all in just a minute.